in the heart of the Silverwood Pack territory, where ancient pines whispered secrets to the wind and the full moon bathed everything in silver light, Laura Frank stood trembling with hope and nervous excitement. Her long auburn hair cascaded down her back like liquid fire, and her emerald green eyes shimmered with the anticipation of a dream she had cherished since she was 16, the night the mate bond had first sparked between her and Alpha Harry Walters. The air was thick with the scent of pine, wild jasmine, and the musky power of gathered wolves. Heartbeats thrummed around her like a living drum. Tonight was a mating ceremony, the night Alpha Harry would publicly claim her as his fated mate and Luna. Laura's fingers brushed unconsciously over the delicate mate mark on her neck, a beautiful crescent moon that had appeared the moment their eyes met 2 years ago. The bond had been pure, intense, and all-consuming. Harry's deep, commanding voice had promised her the world. "You are mine, Laura, my true Luna. No one else will ever stand beside me." She believed him. The crowd parted as a tall, imposing figure of Alpha Harry approached the raised ceremonial platform. At 28, he was every inch a powerful alpha, broad shoulders, jet black hair, piercing amber eyes that glowed with dominant authority, and a presence that made lesser wolves bare their necks in submission. His scent, dark cedarwood and smoke, wrapped around Laura like a possessive embrace. But something was wrong. Harry's expression was cold, almost cruel, as he stopped before her. The mate bond, usually a warm golden thread connecting their souls, felt strained tonight, frayed at the edges. Laura Frank. Harry's voice boomed across the clearing, lacking any warmth. "The moon goddess has made a grave mistake. You are not fit to be my Luna." Gasps rippled through the crowd like a shockwave. Laura's heart stuttered. What are you saying?" she whispered, her voice barely audible even to her own ears. Harry's lip curled in disdain. "You are weak. Your wolf is barely more than an omega in strength. My pack needs a Luna who can produce strong A's, who can stand beside me in war and politics, not a fragile flower who trembles at the thought of power." He stepped closer, his amber eyes flashing with something dark, calculation mixed with a hint of regret he quickly buried. "I, Alpha Harry Walters of Silverwood, reject you, Laura Frank, as my fated mate." The pain hit Laura like a silver blade plunged into her chest. She cried out, doubling over as invisible threads of the mate bond tore apart inside her. Her wolf howled in agony within her mind, curling into a broken ball of sorrow. The mate mark on her neck burned viciously before fading into a pale scar. Tears streamed down her beautiful face as she looked up at the man she loved. "Harry, please, we are fated. The goddess chose us." "Silence," he growled, the sound low and threatening. "I have already chosen another. Evelyn Nightshade, daughter of the powerful Eclipse Pack Alpha. She carries the strength this pack needs." From the shadows, a tall, raven-haired beauty stepped forward. Evelyn, with her cold violet eyes and triumphant smirk. She placed a possessive hand on Harry's arm, her scent of night-blooming roses overpowering Laura's softer jasmine. Humiliation burned through Laura hotter than the physical pain. The entire pack, wolves she had grown up with, healed, and laughed with, stared at her with pity, disgust, or cruel amusement. Harry raised his hand, his voice ringing with final authority. "Laura Frank is hereby banished from Silverwood Pack. You have until sunrise to leave our territory. If you are found after that, you will be hunted as a rogue." Laura staggered back, her legs barely holding her. The world spun. The mate bond's absence left a hollow void in her chest where warmth once lived. Yet beneath the shattering pain, something else stirred, a tiny, defiant spark deep in her soul. She lifted her chin, meeting Harry's cold gaze with tear-filled but unbroken eyes. "One day," she said, her voice trembling yet carrying surprising strength, "you will regret this rejection, Alpha Harry. The moon goddess does not make mistakes. She only delays her true blessings." With those parting words, Laura turned and walked away from the ceremonial platform, her torn heart bleeding with every step. The forest seemed to swallow her as she disappeared into the trees, leaving behind the only life she had ever known. Little did she know, as she fled into the unknown, that fate was not finished with her. Far to the north, in the forbidden shadow peaks, the Last Lycan King, the most powerful and ancient being in their world, had begun to feel a strange, irresistible pull toward a broken, rejected wolf who would soon change everything. Chapter 1. The Rising Tension. The forest that had once felt like home now closed in around Laura like a cage of shadows. Every step sent fresh waves of agony through her body as the broken mate bond screamed inside her chest. The place where Harry's mark had once glowed warmly now felt like an open wound, raw and bleeding with every heartbeat. Tears blurred her vision as she stumbled over exposed roots, her elegant ceremony gown torn and muddy. The scent of pine and damp earth mixed with the sharp tang of her own despair. Her wolf, once vibrant and hopeful, whimpered pitifully within her, curled into a tight ball of grief. "Why?" Laura whispered brokenly to the indifferent moon above. "Why did you choose him for me if this was our fate?" Memories assaulted her as she ran. 2 years of stolen moments under this same moon. Harry's strong arms wrapped around her, his deep voice murmuring promises against her neck. "You are my peace, Laura, my true mate." The way his amber eyes had softened only for her. The possessive growl he made whenever another male looked at her too long. All of it felt like cruel lies now. She had given him everything. Her heart, her trust, her body. Nights spent tangled together in secret, exploring the fiery passion of their fated bond. His touch had set her skin on fire, his kisses claiming her with dominant hunger. And she had loved every second of it. Now that same man had publicly shattered her. A sharp pain in her side made her gasp. She leaned against a massive oak tree, trying to catch her breath. The rejection had weakened her wolf significantly. She could barely feel her enhanced senses anymore. The once clear night forest now felt threatening and foreign. Hours blurred as she pushed deeper into the neutral territories, wild lands where rogues and outcasts roamed. The sun began to rise, painting the sky in hues of blood and gold, but Laura's hope was fading with the moonlight. She had no supplies, no allies, and no clear destination. A rustle in the bushes made her freeze. 3 rogue wolves emerged, their eyes glowing with malicious hunger. Their leader, a scarred man with a cool smirk, stepped forward. Well, what do we have here? A pretty little she-wolf all alone. Smells like she's been recently rejected. The bond break makes you smell deliciously vulnerable. Laura bared her teeth, trying to summon her wolf strength, but only a faint spark answered. "Stay back," she warned, her voice hoarse but defiant. "I have nothing you want." The rogue laughed. "Oh, but you do. A beautiful female in heat from a broken bond? You'll make a fine prize." They lunged. Laura fought desperately, her nails turning to claws as she slashed at the closest attacker. She managed to wound one, but the others overpowered her quickly. A heavy fist connected with her jaw, sending her crashing to the forest floor. Pain exploded across her face as rough hands grabbed her arms. In that moment of terror, something strange happened. A powerful, ancient presence brushed against her mind, like a deep, thunderous voice calling from far away. Warmth, unlike anything she had felt with Harry, flooded her chest for a brief second. Her wolf lifted its head weakly, ears perking up with sudden interest. The rogue suddenly froze, sniffing the air with fear. "What the hell is that scent?" one growled, releasing her abruptly. "Something ancient, dangerous." They fled into the trees, leaving Laura gasping on the ground. She touched her chest, confused. For the first time since the rejection, her wolf didn't feel completely broken. There was a new thread, faint, golden, and impossibly strong, pulling gently toward the distant northern mountains. The Shadow Peaks, the forbidden land where even Alpha Harry dared not tread. "Who are you?" Laura whispered into the wind. Exhausted and injured, she dragged herself to a small cave near a stream. She cleaned her wounds as best she could, the cold water stinging like fire. As she sat there, shivering under her torn gown, rage slowly began mixing with her sorrow. Harry had not just rejected her. He had humiliated her, chosen Evelyn for political power while discarding their sacred bond. The memory of Evelyn's smug smile fueled a new fire in Laura's veins. "I will not die here," she vowed quietly, staring at her reflection in the stream. Her emerald eyes, though red from crying, held a new glint of steel. I will survive, and one day, I will become someone they can never break again. Over the next few weeks, Laura's life became a brutal test of will. She traveled by night, avoided packs, and learned to hunt small game with her weakened wolf. The mysterious pull toward the north grew stronger with each passing day. Sometimes at night, she dreamed of a massive, regal black wolf with eyes like molten gold, ancient, powerful, and watching over her from the shadows. Meanwhile, back in Silverwood Pack, tension was rising. Alpha Harry stood on his balcony overlooking the territory, his jaw clenched. Evelyn Nightshade pressed herself against his back, her arms wrapping possessively around his waist. "Why do you still think about her?" she purred, though her voice held venom. "You made the right choice. I am stronger. I will give you powerful pups." Harry didn't answer immediately. The broken bond still haunted him with phantom pains. He had expected relief after rejecting Laura, but instead he felt empty, wrong. "She was weak," he muttered, trying to convince himself. "The pack needs strength." But deep down, the moon goddess's warning echoed in his mind. Asterisk, some rejections awaken greater destinies to asterisk. Far to the north, in the legendary Shadow Peaks, the Last Lycan King, King Bellamy Nicholas, suddenly rose from his ancient throne. His towering frame radiated raw, primordial power. Silver-streaked black hair fell to his shoulders, and his golden eyes glowed with sudden intensity. He placed a large hand over his chest, feeling the unmistakable pull of a new mate bond awakening. After 1,000 years, his deep, resonant voice rumbled through the mountain hall. She has finally appeared. A dangerous, possessive growl escaped his throat as his lichen form stirred with primal hunger. The game of fate had only just begun. Chapter 2. The Breaking Point. The neutral territories had become a nightmare from which Laura could not wake. Days had blurred into weeks since her banishment. The rain fell mercilessly now, soaking through her ragged clothes and chilling her to the bone. Her once glorious auburn hair hung in wet strands around her pale face. Each breath burned in her lungs as she trudged forward, following the invisible golden thread that pulled her northward toward the Shadow Peaks. Her body was failing. The broken mate bond had taken a heavier toll than she anticipated. Without the strength of a pack, her wolf had grown dangerously weak. Hunger gnawed at her constantly. The small game she managed to catch was never enough. Worst of all, a new sickness had settled deep in her belly, waves of nausea that left her vomiting behind trees multiple times a day. Laura collapsed against a large boulder, sliding down until she sat in the mud. Rain mixed with the tears streaming down her cheeks. She placed a trembling hand over her lower abdomen, where the strange fluttering sensation had begun 2 days ago. "No," she whispered, horror dawning on her. "It can't be." But she knew. Deep in her soul, her wolf confirmed it with a weak but protective growl. She was pregnant. Harry's child, or rather, Asterisk's children's star. The twin sparks of life she now sensed were unmistakable. The rejected mate bond had not only broken her heart, but had left behind the ultimate reminder of what they once shared. A bitter, broken laugh escaped her lips. "You rejected me for being weak, and yet your seed grows inside me." The pain of this realization pushed her to the absolute breaking point. She curled into herself under the pouring rain, sobbing violently. All the memories she had tried to bury came flooding back with cruel clarity. She remembered the night they had conceived these babies. A secret rendezvous under the stars, Harry's powerful body moving over haze with possessive hunger. His growls of mine as he claimed her again and again. The way he had kissed a mating mark with reverence. The intense pleasure that had made her scream his name until her voice broke. Now that same man celebrated his bonding ceremony with Evelyn while Laura sat in the mud, pregnant and abandoned. Back in Silverwood, the celebration was in full swing. Alpha Harry stood on the ceremonial platform once more, this time with Evelyn by his side. The pack cheered as he placed the Lunar's crown on her head. Evelyn's violet eyes glowed with triumph as she kissed him passionately in front of everyone. Yet Harry felt no joy. The phantom pain in his chest had grown worse. Every night he dreamed of Laura's tear-filled emerald eyes and her final words. "One day, you will regret this." He pushed the thoughts away angrily and raised his goblet. "Tonight, we celebrate the strength of our new alliance." As the feast continued, one of his scouts approached discreetly. "Alpha, we found traces of Laura in the neutral territories. She was attacked by rogues. She's heading north toward the Shadow Peaks." Harry's hand tightened around his goblet until it cracked. "Let her go. She is no longer our concern." But his wolf snarled in disagreement, pacing restlessly inside him. Meanwhile, Laura had reached her lowest moment. She lay curled on the wet ground, shivering uncontrollably. Her strength was gone. The twin lives inside her flickered weakly, struggling to survive. The golden thread pulling her north felt fainter now, as if even that mysterious force was losing hope. "I'm sorry," she whispered to her unborn children, placing both hands protectively over her belly. "I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you better. Your father didn't want us, and now I may fail you too." Suddenly, a group of rogue wolves emerged from the trees, more than before. Their leader, the same scarred man from her earlier attack, grinned maliciously. "Found you again, little broken wolf. This time, you won't escape. And I smell something sweet. You're carrying pups. They'll fetch a high price on the black market." Laura tried to stand, but her legs gave out. She bared her teeth weakly, her wolf making one last defiant attempt to shift. Only a faint shimmer of emerald light appeared around her before vanishing. The rogues closed in, laughing. In that moment of complete despair, the ancient golden thread inside her chest suddenly flared to life with blinding intensity. A powerful, ancient voice echoed directly in her mind, deep, commanding, and filled with possessive fury. "Hold on, my mate. I am coming for you." A massive wave of raw power washed over Laura. For a brief second, she saw a vision, a towering Lycan King with silver-streaked black hair and molten gold eyes, shifting into an enormous, majestic beast that tore through mountains to reach her. The rogues froze as an overwhelming, terrifying scent filled the air, ancient power, smoked cedar, and pure dominance. "What the hell is that?" The leader started, but never finished. A thunderous roar shook the entire forest. The Last Lycan King had felt her breaking point, and he was no longer content to watch from afar. Laura's vision blurred as unconsciousness claimed her. The last thing she felt was strong, warm arms catching her before she hit the ground, and a deep, velvety voice whispering against her ear. "You are safe now, little wolf. No one will ever hurt you again." Chapter 3. Years of Transformation. 5 years had passed since that fateful, rain-soaked night when Laura Frank had nearly lost everything. The Shadow Peaks, once feared as forbidden and cursed lands, had become her sanctuary and her home. Nestled deep within the ancient mountain fortress of Nicholas Moore, Laura stood on a wide stone balcony overlooking a vast training valley. The morning sun bathed a transformed figure in golden light. No longer the fragile, broken Omega who had been rejected, she had become something far greater. Her auburn hair now fell in thick, lustrous waves down her back, interwoven with thin braids adorned with silver runes. Her emerald eyes glowed with quiet power and hard-earned confidence. Her body, once soft and uncertain, was now toned and graceful from years of rigorous training. The gentle swell of her hips and full breast spoke of both motherhood and feminine strength. "Mommy, look!" Two identical 5-year-old boys raced toward her across the balcony. Ethan and Evan Nicholas, her precious twin sons. They had inherited their father Harry's dark hair and strong jaw, but their striking emerald green eyes and radiant auras came from Laura. More importantly, they carried the powerful blood of the Last Lycan King who had claimed them as his own. Ethan, the more mischievous one, held up a wooden practice sword glowing with faint golden energy. "I made the blade shine again. Uncle Garrick says I have strong Lycan potential." Evan, calmer and more studious, hugged Laura's leg. "I healed a bird today. King Bellamy said I have your gentle heart, Mother." Laura knelt gracefully, pulling both boys into her arms. Their combined scent, wild pine, warm milk, and ancient power, filled her with fierce maternal love. "You both make me so proud," she whispered, kissing their foreheads. "Now go with your tutors. Mommy has training." As the boys ran off laughing, a deep, velvety voice spoke behind her. "You have become an extraordinary mother, Laura." King Bellamy Nicholas stepped onto the balcony, his towering 6 feet 7 inches frame radiating raw primordial power. Silver streaks highlighted his long black hair. His golden eyes, glowing with ancient wisdom and barely contained desire, locked onto her with intense focus. He wore black royal armor that accentuated his broad chest and powerful arms. His scent, dark smoke cedar mixed with midnight frost, wrapped around Laura like a seductive embrace. In the 5 years since he had rescued her from the rogues, Bellamy had been both a savior and her greatest temptation. He had brought her to Nicholas Moore that stormy night, half dead and pregnant. His ancient Lycan magic had stabilized her and the twins. He had never pressured her, never demanded anything. Instead, he had given her time, safety, and the tools to transform herself. "You saved us," Laura said softly, turning to face him. The mate bond between them, the true, ancient one, pulsed warmly in her chest. It was different from what she had felt with Harry. Deeper, older, more consuming. Bellamy stepped closer, his large hand gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. The simple touch sent tingles of electricity across her skin. "You saved yourself, little wolf. I merely provided the environment for your true strength to bloom." Memories of the past 5 years flashed through Laura's mind. The painful birth of the twins, with Bellamy holding her hand and using his ancient power to ease her suffering. The sleepless nights when he would rock the crying infants so she could rest. The countless hours of training where he pushed her beyond her limits, teaching her to channel lunar magic, Lycan strength, and the hidden power of her bloodline. She had gone from a rejected weakling to one of the most respected females in the Shadow Peaks. Her wolf was no longer broken. It had merged with Bellamy's ancient Lycan essence, creating something new and formidable. Yet despite their growing closeness, Laura had not yet accepted the full mate bond. "I still have nightmares about that night," she admitted, looking away toward the distant mountains. About Harry's rejection, about Evelyn's cruel smile. Bellamy's golden eyes darkened with possessive anger. A low, dangerous growl rumbled in his chest. He was a fool. He threw away the greatest treasure any wolf could possess. He stepped even closer until their bodies nearly touched. "Every day I fight the urge to march on Silverwood and make him pay for every tear you shed." Laura's breath hitched. The air between them crackled with intense sexual tension. She could feel the heat radiating from his powerful body. For years, Bellamy had been patient, but lately his control was fraying. His gaze often lingered on her lips, her neck, the curve of her breasts. "And what would you do if you went there?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. A dark, seductive smile curved his lips. "I would show him what a true king does when someone hurts his mate." His fingers traced her jawline. "Then I would bring you his crown as proof of my devotion." Laura felt her body respond to him. Warmth pooling low in her belly, her wolf practically purring with desire. She had not been touched intimately since Harry. 5 long years of loneliness. Yet something still held her back from fully surrendering to Bellamy. Fear of betrayal. Fear that another powerful male might one day discard her too. "I need more time," she whispered, even as she leaned slightly into his touch. Bellamy nodded, though his jaw clenched with restrained hunger. "You have all the time in the world, my queen. But know this." He leaned down, his lips brushing against her ear, sending shivers down her spine. "When you finally accept me, I will claim you so thoroughly that the moon itself will blush." Laura's cheeks flushed. The promise in his voice made her thighs press together instinctively. As Bellamy stepped back with visible effort, he added, "There are rumors. Harry's pack is facing internal challenges. Evelyn has not produced an heir. Some say the moon goddess is punishing him for rejecting his true mate." A spark of satisfaction and something sharper flashed in Laura's eyes. The woman who had once been broken was now stronger than she had ever imagined. She looked toward the southern horizon, where Silverwood lay far beyond the mountains. The time for hiding was almost over. Chapter 4. The Dramatic Return. The day of reckoning had finally arrived. 5 years after her humiliating banishment, Laura Frank, now Laura Frank Nicholas, consort of the Last Lycan King, returned to Silverwood Pact not as a broken, rejected mate, but as a queen radiating ancient power. The procession emerged from the northern forest like a vision from legend. 200 elite Shadow Peaks warriors march in perfect formation, their armor gleaming with obsidian and silver. At the front rode Laura on a magnificent white direwolf, her auburn hair flowing behind her like a banner of fire. She wore a regal gown of deep emerald and silver that hugged her curves, with a flowing cape embroidered with glowing lunar runes. A delicate crown of moonstones and black diamonds rested on her head. Her emerald eyes glowed with quiet authority. Flanking her on the right was King Bellamy Nicholas in his full royal battle regalia. His towering presence alone made the air feel heavier. His golden eyes scanned the horizon with predatory focus, a constant low growl rumbling in his chest whenever he glanced at Laura. Behind them, Ethan and Evan rode together on a protected litter, their young faces filled with excitement and curiosity. As they crossed into Silverwood territory, alarm horns began to sound. By the time they reached the grand clearing where Laura had once been rejected, the entire pack had gathered in chaos. Warriors stood ready, but fear was evident on their faces. The overwhelming aura of the Last Lycan King made even the strongest alphas bare their necks instinctively. Alpha Harry Walters stood at the front of the assembly, his face pale with shock. He had grown harder in 5 years, but dark circles shadowed his amber eyes. Evelyn stood beside him, her violet eyes wide with disbelief and barely concealed rage. She was visibly pregnant, though her belly was smaller than expected for the time past. Laura dismounted gracefully, her bare feet touching the same ground where she had once collapsed in agony. The mate bond scar on her neck now glowed faintly with new power, Bellamy's ancient mark overlapping the old wound. The crowd gasped as they recognized her. Laura! Harry's voice cracked, barely above a whisper. His eyes roamed over her transformed body, the crown, the power radiating from her. The broken mate bond between them, though severed, still sent sharp phantom pains through both their chests at the sight of each other. Laura lifted her chin, her voice ringing clear and strong across the clearing, empowered by Lycan magic. Yes, Alpha Harry, it is me, the weak Omega you rejected 5 years ago, the woman you called unworthy of being your Luna, the mate you publicly humiliated and banished while she carried your children. Gasps and murmurs exploded through the pack. Harry staggered back a step, his face draining of all color. Children? From behind Laura, Ethan and Evan stepped forward, holding their mother's hands. Their combined aura, a perfect blend of Silverwood alpha blood and ancient Lycan power, made the air shimmer. Ethan glared at Harry with bold emerald eyes. You made our mother cry. Evan added quietly but firmly, You are the bad alpha from her stories. Harry's knees nearly buckled. His wolf howled inside him in agony as he stared at the twin boys who were unmistakably his. The resemblance was undeniable. His dark hair, his strong jawline, but with their mother's radiant eyes and powerful presence. Evelyn's face twisted with fury. This is impossible. She was barren. You said she was weak. Laura's gaze snapped to Evelyn, cold and dignified. You poisoned him against me. You helped spread the lies. But the moon goddess sees everything. Bellamy stepped forward, placing a large, possessive hand on Laura's lower back. The simple touch sent visible sparks of golden energy dancing between them. His deep, ancient voice rolled across the clearing like thunder. I am King Bellamy Nicholas, the Last Lycan King. Laura is my chosen mate. I found her broken and pregnant in the neutral territories. I watched her transform into the powerful queen she was always meant to be. His golden eyes locked onto Harry with lethal intensity. You discarded the greatest gift fate ever offered you. Laura stepped closer to Harry, close enough to see the regret and longing in his eyes. The old bond between them still tugged painfully, but it was overshadowed by the strong, warm bond she shared with Bellamy. Do you remember the night you rejected me? she asked, her voice steady but filled with emotion. I told you the goddess does not make mistakes. Today, I return not seeking revenge, but to show you what you lost. She raised her hand. Silver and golden light erupted around her, revealing her full power. The ground beneath her feet bloomed with night flowers. Her wolf aura manifested, no longer weak, but a magnificent emerald and silver lichen wool hybrid that made the entire pack drop to their knees. Even Harry's wolf submitted, forcing him to lower his head. For the first time in 5 years, tears filled Harry's eyes as he looked at his sons, then back at the woman he had destroyed. Laura, I was wrong, he said hoarsely, his voice breaking. I let pride and politics blind me. Every day since you left, I have felt the emptiness. Enough, Laura said firmly, though her own eyes glistened. Your regret comes 5 years too late. Harry, these boys are no longer yours alone. They belong to the Shadow Peaks. They belong with a father who chose them when no one else would. Bellamy growled possessively, pulling Laura closer to his side. The message was clear. Asterisk, she is mine now. Asterisk. The pack watched in stunned silence as a woman they had once pitied returned as a queen who outshone their own Luna in every way. Laura turned to leave, but not before delivering her final words. I forgive you, Harry, not for your sake, but for mine. But forgiveness does not mean return. My home is no longer here. As she walked away with Bellamy and her sons, the Last Lycan King leaned down and whispered something in her ear that made her cheeks flush and her wolf purr with pleasure. The dramatic return was complete, but the deepest conflicts were only beginning. Chapter 5. The Shocking Revelations. The Grand Hall of Silverwood Pack had never felt so suffocating. After Laura's powerful display in the clearing, Alpha Harry had insisted on a private meeting inside the Alpha Mansion. What was meant to be a civil discussion had quickly turned into a battlefield of truths. Laura stood tall beside King Bellamy, her hand resting lightly on his arm. His massive frame radiated protective energy, golden eyes glowing with restrained fury. Ethan and Evan stood slightly behind them, holding each other's hands, their young auras pulsing with curiosity and power. Harry sat on his throne, looking like a shell of the confident alpha he once was. His amber eyes were haunted as they kept drifting to the twins, his sons, who watched him with guarded expressions. Evelyn paced near the throne, her hands clenched into fists, her pregnant belly prominent. This is ridiculous, she hissed. She returns after 5 years with some ancient beast and 2 pups, and we're supposed to believe they're yours, Harry. Laura's voice cut through the tension like a silver blade. They are his. I was already pregnant the night you rejected me, Harry. I discovered it while nearly dying in the neutral territories. The whole fell deathly silent. Harry shot to his feet, his face a mask of shock and pain. You were pregnant? With my heirs? And I? Silence. Harry roared, his alpha aura flaring. Speak, Elder. Magnus bowed his head. Lady Evelyn. She used dark magic shortly after your rejection of Laura. She paid a rogue witch to curse Laura's womb, hoping to make the rejection permanent and prevent any pregnancy. But the curse was incomplete. The twins survived because of their strong bloodline. The revelation dropped like a bomb. Laura's eyes blazed with emerald fire. She turned slowly toward Evelyn, power crackling around her. You didn't just manipulate him with politics. You tried to kill my children before they were even born. Evelyn laughed nervously, backing away. It was for us, Harry. She was weak. I did what was necessary for the pack. Harry's face twisted with rage and disbelief. He stormed toward Evelyn, his voice a dangerous growl. You cursed my true mate. You nearly killed my unborn sons. In her panic, Evelyn's control shattered. They weren't supposed to survive. And you kept dreaming about her. Even after we mated, you called her name in your sleep. The whole erupted into chaos. But the deepest revelation came from Bellamy himself. He stepped forward, his ancient presence making the torches flicker. There's more. His deep voice resonated with centuries of authority. Laura is not merely a wolf. She carries the blood of the moon's first daughter, a rare lunar priestess line thought extinct. That is why the mate bond with Harry was so strong, and why I felt her from across the continent when she was breaking. He looked at Laura with intense adoration. You were never weak, my love. You were dormant. Your power needed the fire of rejection and the protection of a true king to awaken. Laura's breath caught as new memories and sensations flooded her mind. The golden thread she had felt in the forest, the sudden burst of power during training. Everything made sense now. She turned to Harry, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Your rejection didn't break me, Harry. It awakened me. Harry fell to his knees before her, tears streaming down his face, a sight no one in Silverwood had ever witnessed. Laura, goddess, what have I done? His voice broke completely. I threw away my true mate, my sons, my future, all for power and lies. Evelyn tried to grab his arm, but he violently shrugged her off. Get away from me, you treacherous snake. Bellamy's golden eyes narrowed dangerously. The punishment for harming a Lunar Priestess and attempting to murder Royal Lycanese is death. However, he glanced at Laura, respecting her authority. The choice is yours, my queen. Laura looked at the man who had once been her everything. Despite the pain, a small part of her still ached for the love they had shared. But another, stronger part, the part forged in fire, stood tall beside Bellamy. She placed a protective hand on her son's shoulders. Evelyn will be stripped of her title and exiled. Let the neutral territories judge her as they once judged me. As guards dragged a screaming Evelyn away, Harry remained on his knees, staring up at Laura with raw desperation. Give me a chance to make this right, he begged. Please. Bellamy growled possessively, pulling Laura against his chest. The sexual tension between him and Laura flared hotly, his hand sliding possessively down her back as he stared down at Harry in triumph. Laura looked at Harry one last time. Some mistakes cannot be undone, Alpha, but perhaps they can be atoned for. As they prepared to leave the hall, one final shocking truth was revealed when Ethan suddenly clutched his chest and spoke in an ancient voice that wasn't entirely his own. The three of us, Mother, Rejected Alpha, and Lycan King, are bound by prophecy. Only together can we stop the coming darkness. The hall fell into stunned silence once more. The revelations had shaken the very foundation of their world, and the greatest conflict was still to come. Chapter 6, Passion and Conflict. The air in the luxurious chambers was thick with unspoken desires and simmering conflict. Laura stood by the large window, staring out at the moonlit forest where she had once been banished. Her emerald gown shimmered in the silver light, hugging every curve of a matured body. The revelations from the grand hall still echoed in her mind. Evelyn's betrayal, her own hidden bloodline, and the shocking prophecy spoken through her son. A warm, powerful presence appeared behind her. Strong arms wrapped around her waist from behind as King Bellamy pulled her back against his hard chest. His scent, ancient cedarwood, frost, and raw masculine power enveloped her completely. He lowered his head, lips brushing against the sensitive spot where his lichen mark glowed on her neck. You were magnificent today, he murmured, his deep voice vibrating through her body. The way you stood tall before the man who broke you, it made me want to claim you right there in front of everyone. Laura shivered as his large hand slowly traced her hips, pulling her tighter against him. She could feel his arousal pressing insistently against her lower back. 5 years of patience had finally reached its limit. The mate bond between them pulsed hotly, sending waves of desire through her veins. Bellamy, she breathed, her voice trembling with need and uncertainty. He turned her around in his arms, golden eyes glowing with primal hunger. One hand cupped her jaw while the other slid down to grip her waist possessively. I have waited long enough, my queen. Watching you bloom, watching you become the powerful woman you were destined to be. Denying myself the pleasure of your body nearly drove me mad. His lips crashed down on hers in a deep, demanding kiss. The passion was explosive. Laura moaned softly into his mouth as years of suppressed desire ignited. His tongue dominated hers with skilled hunger, tasting her like a man starved. He lifted her effortlessly, pressing her back against the stone wall as her legs wrapped around his waist. Bellamy's mouth moved down her neck, sucking and nipping at her skin, leaving marks of possession. "You are mine," he growled against her throat, the sound low and animalistic. "Not his. Never his again." Laura's fingers tangled in his silver-streaked hair, her body arching into him. Heat pooled between her thighs as she felt his hardness grinding against her core through their clothes. For the first time in 5 years, she felt truly desired, not as a political tool, but as a woman worthy of worship. "I want you," she whispered, voice husky with need. "But—" Bellamy pulled back slightly, golden eyes intense. "But the ghost of Harry still haunts you." He set her down gently but kept her trapped between his body and the wall. His hand slid up her thigh, pushing her gown higher, fingers teasing dangerously close to where she ached most. "I can smell your desire, little wolf," he growled. "Your body knows who it belongs to. Let me erase every memory of his touch. Let me fill you until you forget he ever existed." Laura's breath hitched as his fingers brushed against her most sensitive area. Her wolf purred loudly inside her, urging her to surrender completely to this ancient, powerful male. Before she could answer, a loud knock interrupted them. "Laura!" Harry's voice came through the door, raw and desperate. "Please, I need to speak with you. Alone." Bellamy's eyes flashed dangerously. A deep, threatening growl erupted from his chest as he instinctively shielded Laura with his body. "He dares come here after everything." Laura placed a calming hand on his chest, feeling the rapid, powerful beat at his heart. "I must face him, Bellamy. For closure." The Lycan King's jaw clenched, possessiveness radiating off him in waves. 5 minutes. If he touches you, I will rip his throat out." He kissed her once more, hard, claiming, and full of promise, before stepping into the shadows of the room, watching with glowing eyes. Laura opened the door. Harry stood there, disheveled and broken. His amber eyes were red-rimmed from unshed tears. "Laura, goddess, you look like a queen. My queen." "Don't," she warned, stepping back. "You lost the right to call me that the day you rejected me." He moved closer, voice cracking. "I was a fool. Evelyn manipulated me. The pressure from the elders. I thought I was doing what was best for the pack. But every night I dreamed of you. Every full moon, I felt the emptiness where our bond used to be." Laura's heart twisted painfully. The old love was still there, buried under layers of scar tissue. "You have a pregnant mate. Harry, go be with her." "She means nothing," he said fiercely, reaching for her hand. "Those boys are mine. You were always mine. Come back to me. I'll reject Evelyn. I'll make you Lunar again. We can be a family." Before Laura could respond, Bellamy emerged from the shadows like a force of nature. He pulled Laura back against his chest possessively, one arm wrapped around her waist while he stared down at Harry with lethal calm. "She is not yours," Bellamy said, voice dangerously low. "She belongs to the male who saved her when you destroyed her. The male who raised your sons as his own. The male who can make her scream with pleasure you never even dreamed of." The sexual tension in the room became suffocating. Laura stood between two powerful alphas, one her past, one her future, both burning for her. Harry's fists clenched. "She carried my mark first. And I will mark her so deeply that yours will disappear forever," Bellamy countered, his hand sliding up to gently grip Laura's throat in a dominant but tender hold. Laura's body trembled with overwhelming emotions. Desire for Bellamy, lingering pain and love for Harry, the weight of the prophecy, the safety of her sons. She stepped away from both of them, breathing heavily. "Enough," she said, voice shaking but strong. "I am not a prize to be fought over. I belong to myself first." She looked at Harry with sad resolve. "You broke me, Harry. Bellamy helped heal me. But my heart still needs time." She turned to Bellamy, touching his face tenderly. "And you have my gratitude and my desire. But I will not be rushed into a bond, even one as powerful as ours." Both males watched her with burning intensity as she walked toward the door. "This conflict is far from over," Laura whispered, more to herself than to them. "The prophecy said we are all bound together." As she left the room, the air crackled with unresolved passion, jealousy, and ancient power. The night was only beginning. The prophecy would no longer wait. 3 days after the revelations in Silverwood, the coming darkness descended with terrifying force. An ancient evil, the Shadow Wraith, a forgotten entity that fed on broken mate bonds and rejected bloodlines, had awakened, drawn by the turmoil between Laura, Harry, and Bellamy. The battlefield was the ruins of Lunara, a sacred site where the moon goddess had once blessed the first fated mates. The ground trembled as dark tendrils of shadow erupted from the earth, attacking everything in their path. Laura stood at the center of the storm, her emerald and silver aura blazing like a beacon. She wore battle armor forged by Bellamy's Lycans, sleek black and silver plates that accentuated her powerful figure. Her twin sons were safely shielded behind protective barrier created by both packs. "You will not take them," Laura shouted, her voice amplified by lunar magic. She thrust her hands forward, sending waves of radiant silver energy that disintegrated dozens of shadow creatures. To her left, Alpha Harry fought with ferocious desperation. His black wolf form was larger than ever, fueled by regret and determination. He tore through shadows, protecting the flank where his son stood. "I will not fail you again, Laura," he roared through the mind link. To her right, King Bellamy had fully shifted into his true Lycan King form, a towering, majestic beast over 12 feet tall with obsidian fur streaked in silver, golden eyes burning like twin suns. His roar shook the ancient ruins as he ripped apart Shadow Wraiths with primal fury. The three of them, Rejected Alpha, awakened Lunar Priestess, and ancient Lycan King, fought together as the prophecy demanded. But the Shadow Wraith grew stronger, feeding on their unresolved pain. A massive dark tendril suddenly lashed out, wrapping around Laura and lifting her into the air. She screamed as freezing darkness seeped into her veins, showing her visions of her rejection, her suffering in the rain, and the fear of losing her children. "Pathetic rejected mate," the Wraith hissed inside her mind. "You are still weak, still unwanted." Laura's body convulsed. Her power flickered dangerously. In that critical moment, both males roared in unison. Harry shifted back to human form, blooded and desperate. "Laura, fight it. You are not weak. You never were. I was the weak one. I love you. I have always loved you." Bellamy's massive Lycan form charged forward, golden energy exploding around him. "She belongs to no one but herself. Release my mate." His ancient voice thundered across the battlefield as he unleashed a devastating wave of primordial Lycan power. Laura, suspended in the air, heard both voices, one filled with regret and past love, the other with fierce devotion and new passion. Something inside her finally broke free. "No more," she whispered. Her eyes blazed pure silver. The Lunar Priestess bloodline fully awakened. A brilliant explosion of emerald and gold light erupted from her body, shattering the Shadow Wraith's tendril and sending shockwaves across the entire battlefield. She landed gracefully between Harry and Bellamy, glowing with transcendent power. "I am not defined by your rejection, Harry," she declared, her voice carrying divine authority. "Nor am I defined by your salvation, Bellamy. I am Laura Frank Nicholas, Mother, Queen, and Lunar Priestess." With a final, empowered cry, she raised both hands toward the sky. The blood-red moon responded, bathing her in pure lunar energy. She channeled it into one devastating blast that struck the heart of the Shadow Wraith. The ancient evil screamed in agony before exploding into harmless wisps of darkness. The battlefield fell silent. The storm clouds parted, revealing a beautiful full moon once more. Laura collapsed to her knees, exhausted but victorious. Both males rushed to her side. Harry reached her first, dropping to his knees and gently touching her arm. Tears streamed down his face. "You did it. You saved us all, even after everything I did to you." Bellamy knelt on her other side, his massive hand cupping her cheek with surprising tenderness. "My queen, you are beyond anything I could have imagined." Laura looked between them, the man who had broken her and the man who had helped rebuild her. "I forgive you, Harry," she said softly. "Truly, but I cannot go back. My heart has grown beyond Silverwood." She turned to Bellamy, her emerald eyes filled with warmth and desire. And you? You have my heart. I accept you fully as my mate. Bellamy's golden eyes blazed with joy and hunger. He pulled her into a deep, passionate kiss right there on the battlefield, claiming her openly as golden sparks danced around them. The true mate bond between them sealed with brilliant light, completing what fate had intended. Harry watched with pained acceptance, lowering his head. I understand. I will spend the rest of my life atoning for my mistakes. The twins, may I still see them? Lauren nodded gently. You are their father by blood. They deserve to know both sides of their heritage. But Bellamy is their father by choice and love. The three bloodlines, Silverwood, Shadow Peaks, and the ancient Lunar line, had finally found balance. As the combined packs cheered in victory, Laura stood between her past and her future, stronger than she had ever been. She looked toward the moon with gratitude. The woman once rejected had become the bridge between two powerful worlds. 3 months had passed since the defeat of the Shadow Wraith. In the heart of the Shadow Peaks, peace had finally settled like a gentle mist over the ancient kingdom. The once forbidden lands now flourished with life. Glowing flowers bloomed along the mountain paths, and the howls of wolves carried both strength and joy under the moonlight. Laura Frank Nicholas stood on the highest balcony of Nicholas Moore Castle, the wind gently playing with her long auburn hair. She wore a flowing gown of white and gold, the colors of her awakened Lunar Priestess lineage. Her belly now carried a soft, noticeable swell, the sign of new life. A daughter, Bellamy had proudly declared after using his ancient magic to sense the child's gender. Mommy, look what we made. Ethan and Evan ran toward her, their little hand holding a crown of woven silver leaves and moonflowers. The twins had grown stronger and more confident, their combined auras radiating both Silverwood resilience and Lycan royalty. Laura knelt gracefully, pulling them into her arms. Their laughter filled her heart with pure joy. It's beautiful, my loves, fit for a queen. From the shadows of the balcony entrance, King Bellamy Nicholas watched the scene with a rare, soft smile on his powerful face. His golden eyes glowed with deep satisfaction and possessive love as he approached. He wrapped his strong arms around Laura from behind, his large hands gently resting over her swollen belly. Our daughter will be as fierce and beautiful as her mother, he murmured, pressing a tender kiss to the side of her neck, right over his claiming mark. Laura leaned back into his chest, savoring his warmth and the steady, powerful beat of his heart. The true mate bond between them now glowed steadily, strong, vibrant, and complete. The nights they shared had become passionate and intense. Bellamy was a dominant, insatiable lover who worshipped every inch of her body, erasing the last shadows of a painful past with pleasure. You have given me everything I never knew I needed, Laura whispered, turning in his arms to face him. A home, a family, true love. Bellamy cupped her face with both hands, his thumbs gently stroking her cheeks. And you, my queen, have given this ancient king a reason to live again after 1,000 years of emptiness. His voice dropped to a deep, velvety growl. Tonight, after the boys sleep, I intend to show you again just how deeply you are mine. Heat flushed across Laura's skin at the promise in his eyes. The sexual chemistry between them had only grown stronger. Last night, he had taken her slowly against the moonlit window, whispering ancient vows of devotion as she came apart in his arms. A messenger cleared his throat respectfully at the entrance. My king, my queen, Alpha Harry has arrived for his scheduled visit with the princes. Laura nodded. Let him in. Harry entered the royal gardens below, looking healthier but still carrying the weight of his regrets. He had stepped down as Alpha of Silverwood, passing leadership to his beta, and now dedicated his life to redemption. He visited the twins twice a month, always respectful of the boundaries Laura had set. The boys ran to him with cautious affection. Harry hugged them tightly, his eyes glistening as he looked up at Laura and Bellamy on the balcony. Thank you, he said, voice thick with emotion, for allowing me to be part of their lives. I know I don't deserve it. Laura offered him a gentle, dignified smile. They desire to know both sides of their heritage. Healing takes time, Harry, but it is possible. Bellamy remained protectively close to Laura, one arm around her waist, but he gave a small nod of acknowledgement. The rivalry between the two males had softened into reluctant respect. As the sun set and the twins went to bed, Laura and Bellamy retired to their royal chambers. Bellamy wasted no time. He lifted Laura onto the large fur-covered bed, his hands and mouth worshipping her changed body with reverent hunger. "Carrying my child makes you even more irresistible," he growled against the skin as he slowly removed her gown. Their lovemaking was passionate and intense, a perfect blend of raw dominance and tender devotion. Bellamy claimed her with deep, powerful strokes, whispering ancient words of love and possession until Laura cried out his name in ecstasy, her nails digging into his back. Later, as they lay tangled together under the moonlight, Laura traced the scars on his chest. "Peace feels almost too perfect," she murmured. Bellamy's golden eyes darkened slightly. "Because it is not over yet, my love." He brushed a strand of hair from her face. The prophecy spoke of 3 bloodlines. The Shadow Wraith was only the beginning. There are greater threats awakening, ancient enemies who fear the power our union has created. Laura lifted her head, her emerald eyes meeting his with determination and excitement. "Then we will face them together," she said firmly. "As king and queen, as mates, as a family." But far to the east, in the forbidden veil of eternal night, a dark council gathered. A mysterious female figure with glowing violet eyes smiled coldly as she watched visions of Laura, Bellamy, and Harry in an ancient mirror. "So the rejected wolf has become a queen," she whispered. "How delightful. It will make breaking her all the more satisfying." The screen fades to black with the sound of a dark, ominous howl and a single line appearing. "The war for the moon's true heir is only beginning."